because the whole stage is shaking.
Oh my gosh, and queen c2!
Yeah, it's the most logical move. We're not going to wait too long for White's next move. But it's impossible that he was not counting on this.
It's the entire reason he should have started with bishop c5. What he wouldn't give for this rook on f1 to see through the bishop. There's a piece in Chinese chess, I think, that jumps over your own, or defense squares over your own piece. It's like, could this rook just for one move transform? Get this bishop, get out of the way. No, queen is hanging. It has to move. It moves to d2. Ding is in time pressure. But it's like, I think I'm tall, and then you put me next to an NBA player. It's like 3.5 minutes for 10 moves.
Just as much, because after castle, bishop d4. Okay, bishop d4 instantly.
Instantly.
He should have done that with queen d4
cleanly. And he's found it. It's going to be a moot point. Unreal. He's found knight d3. Gukesh needs to find a way to keep his chances alive. What technique?
He's going to play queen e3, I believe.
And running out of defensive resources. It might be over, Judith. He is a fighter. He exhausts all of the resources, but now he's down to 45 seconds. He tries queen e3, and you can smell it. Ding will see e5. He will see it. Yammering and yapping about him not being able to win, and he's played rook f1, and he's played e5. And Gukesh instantly plays bishop e3. We will get, Judith, the position after bishop g3. No, he's played bishop g2. Similar move. Now, what do you take?
Well, maybe the best is to go bishop f5 and bishop e4. Isn't that...
Isn't that game over? He's played it just as you speak. And the cherry on top, 30 seconds for Gukesh. Bishop e4 is coming. There's no move. Everything's collapsing. There just is no move. Bishop g3 tried. Bishop e4 will happen.
2 pawns down. Activity for black.
King h2 maybe. And he's played it and trying to go bishop h3. Still keeping some chances alive. But I think they're phantom chances. What's the finishing touch now for Ding? Don't play bishop takes g2. You can't mate it in one move. 10 seconds, Judith. Gukesh has to make 2 more moves. He doesn't see what to do. He's got 5 seconds. He might lose on time. He's played bishop h3. But queen d1 should end the game.
Uh-oh.
Queen d1 ends the game. Before the time control. Tries bishop d6. That's White's 40th move. What's the easiest win, Judith? Is it queen h1 and d4, or do you simply go for the a2 pawn?
Well, it's tempting. I would go for the... why not to take that pawn?
Bishop b6. You have a hiding spot. I think that must be the simplest. 90 seconds now to make the final move. You called it a long time ago. Look at the time management for Ding. He's left himself with a perfect amount of time to find what is likely to be the final move of the game. If he can choose a surgically precise path, but that doesn't seem difficult.
I mean, it's possible to take the pawn, right?
And that's the thing. There's no need to calculate But then bishop e6 and queen takes e4 at the end. You have to see queen f2 check.
And to go to h8, not to h7. So it's not a check.
Precisely. And we see just that on the board. Should I put this on the board really quickly?
It's move 41. So Ding
from the time scramble, you're still emotional, and it's easy to play too quickly. But the calculation here is too straightforward for someone like the world champion to mess up.
Yeah. Queen c6 is also a very powerful move if you don't want to allow the bishops to be powerful.
Oh. And the worst part is he's got 30 minutes to figure this out. The pain now for Gukesh starts to set in.
Wow, what a kickoff game of the match.
Still hoping for a miracle, but if the miracle would have come, it might have come before the time control. Bishop c5, I think, is what Gukesh will be kicking himself for, not playing bishop c5, because it looked, had he played bishop c5 and then queen c2,
yes,
like Black's problems were very serious in time pressure.
Well, this is what I remember my coach said, Lev Psahis, long time ago when I was playing on the very
and my coach
top level also, that whatever happens, stay focused because you always get another chance. Of course, when you go for the highest tournaments, it's not always, but even here we can see we have queen a2 on the board. He couldn't resist making it so fast.
I didn't know Psakis was her coach. He was also my coach, and he has worked a lot with Indian players for many, many years.
Yes. Yeah, true. True. And even in this game, right? Sorry. That Ding played all these great moves after knight b6, knight c4, bishop d7, all the way, that probably like 10 moves, just the best moves. Even after that, he didn't play the most accurate way in a world championship match. And this bishop c5, queen c2 could have given him quite a headache and maybe even saving the game by Gukesh.
Game that keeps you on the edge of your seat has two authors, and Gukesh deserves a lot of credit for h4 and knight e2. That was an incredible resource. It set him up to what would have been an incredible comeback if he had found bishop c5 and then converted that counterplay into at least half a point, which of course is a big if. And for Gukesh, a lot has to happen on the emotional front, right? This is just the first game. He has displayed incredible emotional maturity, composure, and that will be put to the test as he prepares for the second game with the black pieces. But he has been up to the task so many times in his career. So I'm sure there will be no panicking going on among his team, among Gukesh. But you come home, you prep for the second game, you do what you do after every game. Judith, you're so experienced with the highs and lows of a chess career. I don't think that he's going to be, looking at scenes of the apocalypse after a setback in only the first game.
Well, this is not exactly how he planned. I'm pretty sure about that. And it's not easy. It's very, very difficult. Also, we see now Gukesh sitting at the board, closing his eyes. Of course, you need a lot of strength to be able to deal with these moments right now for him. Because there are a lot of things happening in this game, emotionally and on the chessboard. And for sure, he will have to recover it in every way. But in principle, of course, he understood and he knew, and we all understand that anything can happen. You can lose the first game, you can win the first game, whatever. But when you're actually dealing with it, and actually it happens, not only a theoretical scenario that it can happen, it is extremely difficult to deal with. And because you lose, the other one wins. You can't catch up when one is winning. And also for Ding's self-confidence, I think this victory is immense. It is so important that he shows his strengths, he shows his ability, he shows that he knows what he's doing. He can, even in a difficult position, or what we've seen that after the opening it was kind of a difficult position, or we both took for white pieces, right? He sat there, he figured out how to deal with it, he found the best plan, so he was able to turn around the whole game in starting from move 17 or so. So this must give an incredible self-confidence to Ding, to be able to, that I'm Ding, I'm the world champion, I show you who is the world champion.
Double, and that Ding Liren was still there. It was hidden. We saw glimpses during the Olympiad, and he's put everything together in this first game. But at the same time, you feel Gukesh's pain, so much pressure on him at 18 years old, his first world championship match. And if you're a thinking chess fan who feels the pain of Gukesh's first loss, you got to take it easy on him. I mean, this is still the start of his career. This is someone who's shown an unbelievable amount of poise.
Very, very tense and difficult moments for Gukesh to put himself together emotionally to be able to finish this game. And but I have the feeling that, similarly to your story, that he's already thinking a bit about the follow-up of the match, or thinking about the middle game of this game, that where did he go wrong so much? Where did it fall apart? How come he didn't even realize it? Which role? And and of course, it's a different story, World Championship match, as Henrik, Magnus's father, just said a few days ago in an interview that you cannot be prepared for game one in a World Championship match. And I hear this in my ear, that it must be true. It must be true. And the whole atmosphere of a World Championship match. And we have a score. Liren wins the first game.
He has defeated Gukesh, the reigning world champion, with the black pieces in the first game of the 20. Take inspiration from Magnus, who was a point down against Sergei Karyakin. But the journey uphill begins as early as game 2. Ding will have the white pieces, Judith. What a statement win. Oh boy, will this be discussed. But Gukesh has to discuss it with his